Kent sports fans will be seeing fewer betting adverts on their screens after the country's biggest gambling companies agreed to stop showing the ads during live sports broadcasts. The ban will include any events that starts prior to the 9 p.m. watershed but ends after that time. Medway Labour leader Vince Maypole campaigned to reduce the minimum stake on fixed odds betting terminals earlier this year and joins me now. Vince, thanks ever so much for joining us. What do you make of this news? Is this going to be enough to ban the adverts?
Well, I think this is a very positive step, and I know our party deputy leader Tom Watson has been leading the call for this nationally. People, particularly over the World Cup, were complaining to me on a regular basis, saying actually it feels like we're seeing more football ads than football when it comes to the issue of gambling. So the fact that the industry have stepped up and recognised this is an issue and recognised actually this is not appropriate to be happening is a positive thing. And as I've always said on here, look, I'm not anti-gambling, but I am anti-problem gambling, and in particular it's the impact that those live adverts can have on young people. And we've seen some reports over the last few months saying actually in some cases 1 in 8 young people are certainly getting more involved in gambling before the age of 18, which is very worrying.
And of course, we see these all the time during half-time, before the match. It always pops up who's going to be the first goal scorer and all that kind of stuff. How much of an influence do those adverts actually have?
Well, certainly people have shared with me online, on Twitter and elsewhere, the fact that young people now see knowing the odds of, who's going to get the first corner as part of the kind of language of football in particular. And it's not just football, but I'd say that is certainly the sport where this is most influential. So look, I welcome today's decision by the gambling industry to take a bit of responsibility. It's not the only issue. Certainly a couple of months back we saw a number of Premier League football teams with their youth pages on their websites with links to gambling websites as well. So there's still more work to be done. I also think there's a big question mark around shirt sponsorship, but this is a positive step, and it kind of follows on from the issues as we've spoken about before around fixed odds betting terminals. Again, the gambling industry needs to act responsibly, and today's decision is a positive step in the right direction.
You mentioned that more still needs to be done, but is this an example that they are starting to take it a bit more seriously now?
Well, I think so, and not least because actually the public at large will be saying to them as an industry, this is not acceptable. Again, most people will say actually they're not anti-gambling, but they are anti the kind of full-on effect that these adverts have. I'm fed up of seeing, frankly, Ray Winston's face coming at me when I'm trying to watch a game of football. And actually, it's the impact, again, particularly on young people. And again, the fact that this is, even for games which are perhaps finishing after the watershed but starting before then, that is a good thing. And I want to see that come in, immediately, effectively.
Well, good news is there'll be far less Ray when you're watching the next football match. Vince, thanks ever so much for joining us today.
Thank you.